Good afternoon, everyone. This is just a summary of, I thought to take you through a summary of polymer research I've been doing in the past 3 seasons across different locations. And I started off in 2021 when COVID was around and we had border restrictions. So I, by chance, had to conduct in bakery, which I did, which gives a bit of insight why the polymer works in the way it does. So, and the following year, I conducted in 2 different locations, in Paringa and in Robinvale, and in 2023 season in Robinvale. And just a summary of, you can see how the chiller accumulation has.
Perhaps just half a sec. We're typically hear that, and I think people will probably be distracted.
Sure.
Just pause for a sec, because then people will be able to hear you better. And while we're at it, Tim, I don't know, but this is not working. So if you've got any insights into that, it would be tremendous.
It would be great if it works.
Turn it on.
Okay, I was searching for this. Thank you. That's simple.
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, good. So this is just a summary of what the chill accumulation looks like across these seasons in different locations. And we can see this is far low than what has acquired in the rest of the seasons in other locations where I had the polymer trial. So that would reflect on the results, which I'll go through in a bit. And polymer was applied around oil application, either before or after, or before and after. So this chill accumulation was collected from Landscape Weather Network, and the concentration which I used was 0.5%, and oil was about 5 to 6%. That I left it to the orchard's decision. And what I'm going to go through is a summary of phenology in terms of bud burst and flowering, and how that has contributed towards certain shoot characteristics like number of buds, which eventually end up as bunches, so number of bunches and number of nuts and weight of the whole shoot. So, and then eventually looking at yield and quality. So this is just a summary of where the trials were conducted. The first season 2021 in bakery, and their individual trees were selected to spray the polymers on, and the rest of the trees were, the control trees had the tops. So one thing I had in bakery was absolute control without any oil and without any polymer. And also I had a treatment which had just polymer, just to have a comparison, and the other treatments were polymer applied before and after oil application. And this is in 2022 season in Symphondorfers, and in Robinvale the next following 2 seasons. That season and the following season. So this is the way I did was to tag individual shoots, randomly selected shoots for observation, so I don't miss what I'm observing sequentially, just to be consistent. And so I had data metrics which I used to scan and color coded my treatments, and repeatedly observed the same shoot every time I go every week. So my observations were consistent. So this is just a summary of phenology in bakery. These bottom line where you can see, which splits into two, are polymer only and control treatments. When I say control, no oil, no polymer, and polymer only treatment. And this is bud burst and this is flowering chart. And we can see that polymer only treatment is equal to spraying nothing at all. So it doesn't really help in bud burst or flowering. But oil definitely helps in bud burst, bringing uniform flowering and uniform bud burst and flowering. And polymer along with oil or oil only has narrow and early bud burst and flowering. So that's just a summary of that. And we can see that between the oil only or polymer only and control treatments, we can see having something on the trees helps. So polymer only treatment has fared better than control. So definitely adding something helps, polymer helps, but polymer alone doesn't perform as good as when you apply on or before or after oil application. And this is the flowering. Flowering behavior is the same as, and one important thing to notice here is there was a lag of 3 weeks. So control or polymer only treatments, they were 3 weeks behind for bud burst and flowering, and that delay, that is a very important phase of crops growth, and that delay is carried over until maturity. So harvest is also delayed by 3 weeks, and because of that they didn't have second shake. So I couldn't do a second shake on polymer only and control treatments because they were late, and by the time the other treatments were ready, oil applied treatments were ready for harvest, this had just reached first shake. So that was completely missed. And this is summary of phenology in 2023-24 season, that is last year's spring. And it's very clear that polymer enhances bud burst and enhances flowering it was not significant, but there is something which it does to the crop which makes it better than the oil. So the green color line is the oil only treatment, and the rest of the colors are with polymer, either before or after, or before and after oil. And this is flowering, so it's the same scenario with bud burst and in flowering. So it does enhance bud burst and flowering, though not significant. Maybe we could see a significant effect when it is applied during a low chill, terribly low chill year, or in locations where there are chill failures. And this is just a summary of how I'm looking at evaluating yield parameters. So pistachio yield comes from either the number of nuts or the nut weight, but the nut weight is insignificant when compared to that means higher yield can be obtained from producing more number of nuts rather than trying to increase the nut weight, individual nut weight. So that is it. This flows from number of bunches per shoot, which contributes to number of nuts per shoot, which in turn increases the nut. So number of shoots per tree and number of bunches per shoot is determined more by managerial practices. So to produce more number of shoots, you can have more number of reproductive buds, and to have more reproductive buds in each shoot is again cultural practice. Your nutrient management, water management, and other factors are involved, like pruning and training and things like that. However, why I've got this chart is because to show how this could be influenced by polymer application. So to dig into that, I went into seeing how the number of buds, which I counted every week, performed through to harvest. So this is bud statistics in terms of bud failure and productive bud percentage. So both are expressed in terms of percentage. So this is, again, they were not significant. These are the results from Robinvale in 2023-24 season. So it had sufficient chill. As we can imagine, the response would be a bit on the lower side. So the results weren't significant. However, you can see the productive bud was much less than any other treatments which received polymer, and bud failure was much higher in oil only treatment. That is, it was higher than any of the other trees which received polymers. And this is last year's 2022-23 season. So, CMB had significant bud failure, and productive bud percentage showed significant effect in CMB when compared to Symphodorfers. And this is flowing of those number of buds into shoot traits. So this is the number of shoots, number of nuts per shoot, and weight of the whole shoot as such. Again, the effect was not significant. However, there was distinct lowering of the shoot weight. When I say the shoot weight, it's all the bunches weighed together, and the number of nuts in each shoot. So when you can increase the number of nuts, as I showed you before, the correlation is very strong. In increasing the number of nuts, we can increase the yield. So if this could be increased, the number of nuts per shoot could be increased by polymer application, then we are looking at overall increasing the yield performance. And this is the bunches per shoot and weight in terms of this is in-hull nut weight, not the marketable one. This is in-hull nut weight, and the number of bunches per shoot. This year in 2023-24 season, the weight of individual nuts showed significant difference when compared to the other. I mean, it was lower significantly in oil only treatment when compared to any other treatment which received polymer. But in general, polymer applied before and after showed better performance in terms of yield contributing traits, like increasing the number of, can see this, increasing the number of nuts in each shoot, nut weight, and also the weight of individual nuts and bunches per shoot. This is a summary, just to show a summary of how the yield performed with polymer application. In general, again, this was not significant. However, polymer applied before and after oil application showed better in-hull yield and better marketable yield when compared to the treatments. Again, the significance may be significant, or it can show significance when there is a low chill year or in locations of chill failure. And this is the 2023, again, summary of 2023 season's yield results in CMB as well as Symphodorfers. Again, oil application only has lower yield when compared to anything which received a polymer, and especially polymer applied before and after. So this is going back again in 2022 harvest, which was 2021-22 season in bakery. So this showed significant yield. That's why I said when there is low chill or in locations which where it is more likely for a chill failure, we can see significant results of polymer application. So it's the same. The polymer applied treatments had significantly higher marketable yield when compared to oil only. So that's oil only, and this is control and polymer only were close to. Yeah. So in conclusion, polymer effects are promising for early and narrow window for bud burst and flowering, which is very important to have synchronized pollination, etc. when spraying in conjunction with oil. So polymer alone doesn't help, but it has to be sprayed before and after application of oil. And bud, in terms of viable buds, productive bud production, and productive bud percentage, and to avoid bud failures, again, polymer application has shown promising effects. And as far as yield is concerned, it has potential to improve yield when applied in conjunction with oil. But more research needs to be done, particularly focusing on areas of low chill or where it is more likely for a chill failure, rather than trying in an area where there is enough chill. So that could be focus. Thank you.
Time for questions. Maha?
How long between the sprays? Polymer to oil, how many weeks?
So I've done with 2 weeks before oil and 2 weeks after oil.
My observation, we've got one tree that's been treated, and I haven't had time to talk about it with James, but it's sort of had a bumper crop this year. And I don't know how, it's sort of put the tree back, I think. It'll take a few years for it to catch up a healthy tree again. So I'd like you to have a look at it when you come.
Sure. Was it that
Don't know if we
polymer
can
applied?
overdo polymer and oil. I'm just wondering.
Okay. Yeah, shall have a look.
What is the polymer?
Shane will be better person to say
Oh,
the
well,
chemistry of polymer.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Well, because the questions may be relevant to both of you.
Okay.
I'd be interested to know what the next steps are.
Yeah, so this would it would be worth conducting the trial in a low chill location or in areas of chill failures, which is more on the riverland side, because to see the real effect of polymer we need that sort of a situation, because that's where we assume polymers are working, not in areas which receive sufficient chill.
So is there going to be a plan for work being done in Riverland this next season? Is that what
That would be good, but it depends on the research committee's decision as well. So I would make a proposal, but it would be good to have a trial in the Riverland area to see the real, or to narrow down to the managerial practice of polymer application, when it has to be applied and how it has to be applied, scheduling.
Can you mix the two products together and you can't mix the two products together?
Polymers like to latch onto things. Oil is something, if you want to make a mess, especially if someone else is spray rig, just for an example, for someone, if you've got something you don't like, they'll do it because it goes really gluey.
Right.
You've tried. The spraying the polymers and that, does it make any difference to the pollinator trees? We've got 3 that come in different times, so does it alternate that, or does it bring them more in the same time?
I don't think I sprayed polymers after it flowered. So 2 weeks after oil application is within the time of bud burst. So I haven't tried spraying them around. I would say not to spray anything when there is pollination going on, because
No, sorry. Does it make any difference to when the pollinators come into the flowering with your main fruiting trees?
No, I'll answer that one. I've used it with Knee Plus because Knee Plus flowers really early, and we'll spray Knee Plus prior to bud movement to slow them down because they normally come in so quick. So I'll use it selectively on, if I've got a line that flowers early and I want to hold it back. So I don't want it to pop really early and it's flowering by itself. So we sometimes will strategically manage varieties to synchronise pollen.
But you don't alienate your pollinator tree, do you?
I will.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, so you don't spray your pollinator?
Well,
Hang on, pistachios are a bit different alarms.
yeah, but even with, well, I'm talking from the stone fruit perspective. So if I've got a male tree that by its nature is always too early, I would spray that to keep it a bit later. If I had something that was a late variety, I would definitely not be spraying it because I'll make it too late. Because you'll keep the bud cooler and that then influences it. So it's really knowing the varieties of what you play with. So for me, anything that flowers too early, we will treat that variety to hold it up, especially in the cross-pollination sense, especially within plums and cherries. where I'm really trying to synchronise my pollination regime. So we're very strategic on our phenology, and that's what Maha's been very strategic with pollination, how I do it, how do I manipulate it. And the comment from Martin, I was doing a trial in almonds and I wanted to hold back peerless because it was too early, so we sprayed it late. And I've got this one row of peerless that's in full flower right next to nonpareil. I'm thinking I'm in trouble. It cropped itself to death. The next year, those 2 rows, there was not a single flower. And because how do I manage a crop that's doubled that without isolating it? So it just creates it, like Martin said, it's an overcropping situation. So understanding that pollination, when you get it right, how do I manage that abnormality of big yields?
Good. The research that's been done on oil shows that, and it was demonstrated in one of Maha's slides about where she did actually have a control where there was no treatment applied, that oil will bring both the male pollinators and the females in, move them forward the same way. I'll both move them forward 2 weeks. And if you don't spray the males, they're going to flower 2 weeks later after the females are finished, which is a really bad idea. And in practical sense, you're going to spray the whole orchard. Now, with prunus, like almonds, where you've got rows of knee plus rows of nonpareil, you can sort of spray just one row. You can't spray every 7th tree and every 3rd row with pistachios anyway. You've got to spray them all, and you'll bring them all forward. Now, what Maha is showing here is that Polymer seems to be enhancing the performance of the oil a little bit. Not by big margins, but by a little bit. But it's enhancing the oil. And the polymer on its own does nothing, or very little. So I wouldn't be too worried about whether you're going to separate the males and the females.
Yeah, just this year, Chris, I don't know whether it was just me or not, but I just seem to think that the pollinators finished a little bit earlier than finished earlier than what the fruit is. I don't know whether it's me or whether it was really happening. I just wondered whether anyone else
Sorora is
the
an
same,
inherently uneven flowering plant tree. It flowers over a long period of time, much longer than the only other variety we've got in Australia, Kerman. It's always
we can't
a
control.
very horrible variety of maturity uneven.
You got any theories why it works, Shane? Like, why is it?
I think he's about to tell you that.
Oh,
No,
alright, this is my take.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
there any other?
Do you want to sit here, Maha? Because there may be questions that come out of Shane's discussions
Sure.
that are relevant to